Hi, Minesh here, and we have another interesting guest today, and his name is Steve Pikor. I just met him recently, and I'll tell you, he's another entrepreneur, somebody who has had different experiences in his lifetime, and he's going to share some wisdom with you about the areas that a company which is really looking to systematize certain operations can learn from. So we have Steve here. So Steve, welcome.
How you doing? Thank you. I appreciate the time, Minesh.
Oh, absolutely. I look to interact with entrepreneurs. That's really my fun part, is because people who have a dream, a desire, are willing to try something different. And I know you have an interesting background. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah. So it started off in operational management for Lowe's, great organization. Kind of cut my teeth there.
Okay.
And then I decided to enter into the entrepreneurial realm and started a couple small startups in my early and mid-20s. And after having some success there, I decided to go back to being an entrepreneur recently, again, about a year and a half ago, and started up a custom home residential company called Wayhouse, and then also a small business consulting company called Fox and Felix. Both of them are headquartered in Rochester.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And again, to me, in my 20s, I didn't have a clue. So I'll just be honest with you. I went through the same thing most people say: go to school, get a good education, and get a job.
Yes.
And again, I had enough clue to leave India and come to US. So that part was a positive for me. And the only thing was that I came here, did the same thing like everybody else.
Sure.
I respect entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Because the younger you are, and you are willing to try something, I think that's where the fire is, the passion is, and you can make things happen as well. Yeah. So looking back from your experience, the first time when you started entrepreneurship, etc., what are some of the things that you have learned that people who are watching, listening will say, you know what, I would love to have entrepreneurship, but let me know a couple of things I should not be doing, right?
Sure. Well, I think for me, where it all started really is with my father. My father was an entrepreneur, and so I saw the passion and drive to be creative and help one another and grow a business. And it wasn't just about success, right, with my father. It was really about being able to be creative, but with a business instrument. And so I was always really attracted to that, and that was something that I really wanted to do from a young age. And I do work with a lot of young entrepreneurs, so I tell them, listen, one of the first things that you want to do is find a mentor. Find somebody you can speak with, you can latch on to, you can share resources, network with, but you really want to gain that experience and that knowledge, and having a mentor is a great way to do it. The second thing that I suggest right off the bat is when they go ahead and start a business, form an advisory board. Find 2-3 people. LinkedIn is a great platform to use. Find people that are interested in what your purpose is, what your mission is, and they have an interest within you. Form that relationship and have them form an advisory board to give you that knowledge and experience.
I think those are very good words.
Yeah.
I homeschool my children.
Okay.
I have an 11-year-old son who's turning 12 next month, and I have a 16-year-old daughter. Yeah. And one of the reasons I homeschool them is because I want them to be entrepreneurs. Yeah. There is no other way for them.
Sure.
There is no degree to back them up, right?
Yeah, right,
okay?
Right.
And what I have found, and this I think what you said was the key, is mentorship.
Yes.
I think we have in our system of education, colleges, universities, schools, the big thing which is no longer there is a mentor.
Sure.
And a mentor is somebody who cares enough about you and is not going to be mentoring for you a few days, few weeks, or a few semesters, right? But this person is really serious about your growth in the long run.
Correct.
And quite often is a role model that you and I can follow along with that.
Yeah.
And in your case, who have been some of the people that you look back saying, okay, these people have been my mentors. These people have had. And again, you don't have to tell specific names, but you can tell a little bit about the experience of those. Yeah.
Sure. Also, too, are you familiar with Jack Ma, the CEO of Alibaba?
Yes.
So I watch a lot of his stuff, and he does a great job at breaking down kind of segments of somebody's life. Like in your 20s, you want to go out and gain an education. 30s, you might want to take a little bit of risk. 40s, you want to do. So there were, and I can't remember the age bracket that he set up for this, but one of them was give back, be a mentor, and I just thought that was awesome, and I think that's one area of opportunity that we need to capitalize more on, is we need to have our seniors come back and give back within education and knowledge and their resources and really help the next generation grow. And for me, it was my father's business partner, Tom Kenny. I meet with him frequently. He's a multi-business owner, extremely successful in multiple industries. And he's been so great just to sit down, talk with, and gain a knowledge. And if there's any areas that I need some help in, he's been more than great at giving me some assistance. So very beneficial to me.
Exactly. One of the things I think mentors do, if you are open-minded enough yourself, is they are able to see in you that you don't see in yourself.
Correct.
And if you are humble enough and open enough to say, if my mentor cares about me, who really is a good role model, they will bring out of me, challenge me to be somebody that I don't really understand yet, but I know I'll be further ahead. And I know I've had those challenges where I'm always not as willing and open because I have my own limiting beliefs getting in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
that's a great point. I think one of the greatest destroyers of business and small business and entrepreneurship really is ego. And I think we have a hard time taking accepting constructive feedback.
Yes.
And it's something that I really recommend that the younger generations really uphold and embrace. I had a CEO one time. I was delivering this message, and he was sitting there at a restaurant, and he was listening to me, and we got done. He said, "Hey, can I pull you off to the side for a second?" I said, "Sure." He goes, "Why don't we go have a coffee?" I said, "Great." And I'm thinking this is pertaining to what I'm trying to, sell.
Yes.
And he said, and he goes, "You know what? I really think highly of you. I think you're a great guy. I think you're smart and intelligent." But he goes, "You kind of seem like you're a little bit all over the place." And I said, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And he said, "Well, you kind of declare yourself a little bit of a salesman, a little bit of an ops guy, a marketing guy." He goes, "I want you to focus on this year at finding the one thing that you just really excel at, that nobody can touch you on. Just one thing." And it was really great. And the more I thought about it, and I said, you know what? I do kind of sell myself as that. As an entrepreneur, kind of touches sales and marketing and operations and all these wonderful things. But do I really have that rock, that foundation? And so through some self-discovery and analysis, I found out that really operational policy and procedure is really kind of where I find my home at. That's what I like the most.
And how can people use your services? Tell us where they can find the value in their company if they're looking for something like this.
Sure. Well, obviously, they can go on to foxandfelix.com. We're located in Rochester. So we love working with local companies. But really what I like to do is I start off with a discovery phase. So I like to learn more about what exactly they do, what their purpose and what their mission is. And then I kind of step back a little bit and we talk about pain points. So what I like to do is I like to find that one specific thing that is their pain point, and then I try to let them just breathe for a minute, provide some assistance, some help where they can just breathe. And then at that point, we start taking a look at other elements within the business, and then we focus on road mapping, strategic planning, growth strategies, and so on and so forth.
Very interesting. So tell us a little bit about some success stories or people that you have helped, you have enjoyed really working with.
Yeah, so one of the companies is actually in Rochester, and it's called PaySource One. They're a PaySource human capital management company led by Ed Bristow, wonderful CEO, contacted me and said, you know what, I need some help with some web development. And I said, great. So we came in and we provided some web development services. But as I started interviewing Ed, and we went through a couple phases of discovery, we found out that there were some operational issues. There were some issues with setting up goals and road mapping. So the more that we talked, the more we decided to work with one another. And the last year's been absolutely great. We've set a wonderful plan in place to move the company forward. We've set milestones. We've set goals. His business has grown fairly well over the last year. And now he's actually looking to expand into some other areas. So we got some expansion going. So it's been a great opportunity to work with Ed, and I look forward to continuing that relationship.
Very fantastic. So who would be your ideal client? Tell us whatever you feel that you think, especially people watching, listening. It's like, this person, this would be great to help us with. So who's that company that people you want to work with?
Yeah, really my passion is for the startup. It's for the young entrepreneur or the small to mid-sized business. I feel that I really connect, and I want to help. I want to see my services be stretched and go a long way. And coming from working for a large corporation like Lowe's, I have that experience with that large corporate mentality, right? Which is okay. It's beautiful. But I really enjoy working with the small entrepreneur because I feel like in today's environment, there's a ton of obstacles and there's a lot of naysayers, right? So there's people that say, let's say it's Jim, right? Jim, you work at this great job and now you want to leave it to go ahead and do this risky entrepreneurial thing, and you want to sell this, and it's crazy and it's nuts, and he hears that from everybody.
Yes.
And Jim doesn't have any capital. He doesn't really know how to do marketing. He doesn't know how to do all this. So he has all of these barriers in front of him. And I can relate to that. And so what I like doing is coming in and telling Jim, it's okay. You can talk to me. You can go ahead and let's build a relationship. And you tell me how much resources and services that you need, and we can fulfill that for you. And then we'll work on just setting a foundation. And then from there, we focus on growth and scalability.
Wow, that's fantastic. See, I can hear your energy and passion.
I love it, Minesh. I get fired up.
I can hear that. And that's, I think, the first step.
Yeah.
Is being fired up, passionate about something you really care about.
Sure.
And then you can help other people because you are the leader now.
Sure.
They're looking at you and saying, okay, lead me through this process because it looks like a jungle out here.
It is.
I don't
crazy.
really know how to get out of this thing.
Exactly.
Everybody's stopping me, obstacles on the way.
Sure.
I feel deflated today.
Sure.
I feel discouraged today.
Sure.
I don't know where my weaknesses are. And you come as a cheerleader for them.
Exactly. When you work for a large organization, you have multiple players that provide you with that. They provide the direction. If you're having an off day, there's somebody there to pick you up. But when you're starting off and you're running a small business, a lot of times you don't have that. And so that's what I try to do. I try to come in and help that individual, help that organization, first find their purpose, and then from there grow and actually be successful. So.
Yeah, and I think one of the areas which is the least sexy areas to say is the operations.
It's so dry. So when I come in, I think I have a little bit of a personality. So when I come in, it's kind of different because they're expecting this real dry policy and procedures. And I come in and I say, hey, listen, let's have fun with this. There's a reason that operations is so important. And I think one of the areas that a lot of companies neglect with operations is actually leveraging technology.
Yes.
And there's so many good technological platforms out there in order to enhance and simplify operations.
Yes.
And they're fun.
Yeah.
They're great. I mean, a lot of these applications and platforms that you can access nowadays, they're quality, they're simplistic, they're edgy. So it's bringing a little bit of excitement to a very dry, traditional area of business.
And they're simplified today.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just amazing what technology has done to ease all these manuals and procedures which used to be just amazing from that perspective. So thank you, Steve. So what are some of the other words that you would like people to know, and then obviously, again, remind people how to get hold of you?
Sure. Yep. So you can find us at www.foxandfelix.com, located in Rochester, Michigan. But overall, I'd just like to say that I understand what it's like to be a small business owner, mid-sized business owner, or an entrepreneur that's just starting. I understand your pain. I understand the obstacles that you're facing. So I just encourage you to give me a call. It's a free consultation. We can go ahead and talk and discover how we can work together and build a relationship.
Well, Steve, what a pleasure meeting you today again. And then here you are sharing your wisdom and obviously all the challenges you have faced.
Sure.
And as you help other businesses find their purpose, find their mission, and obviously create a foundation for the future of their business.
Sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Minesh.
Thanks, folks, for watching.